The following podcast may contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, and welcome to Hallmark of Greatness Last Orders, the podcast where we look back into the films our Hallmark favourite actors and directors would rather forget they were ever involved with. I'm Joe, and with me as always, he's just back from throwing barrels of sepsis into the town's big crack. It's James.
You'll never stop me.
And direct from the hole in the ground that used to be Boise, it's Flatley. If you would like to keep up to date with upcoming film choices and that, you can follow us on Twitter at Hallmark Great, all one word, or we are on Instagram and Facebook at Hallmark Greatness. Or if you run a secret casino in the Caribbean that is mysteriously run by all Irish people and want to recommend a film to us, you can email us at hallmarkofgreatness@gmail.com. I know it's two last orders back to back, but things have happened. And also, once we found out about this, we had to review this film, and then I wished I hadn't.
It might be one of those things, though, where it sort of comes out in the mix, doesn't it?
It comes out in the wash.
Raging Angels was like that, wasn't it? It was like, oh, that's a shit film. And then we discussed it, and between us, made a film.
Oh,
I think there's probably a reason not even bad film podcasts have covered this film.
Yeah, there's nothing at all in it.
I
have so many bits of just why is this happening? Why does Michael Flatley's face look like a deep fake of his own face?
That is a good point, yeah.
Because
I have Flatley questions. I have a lot of Flatley questions.
De-age him or something? Because I know this was filmed into. Well, we'll get into it.
Did they de-age him and re-age him? Because that's kind of how it looks.
Well, it was filmed in 2018, and then they held off because of COVID, because people were going to rush out to the cinema to see this bag of dog shite. I'm talking about, of course, the 2022 blouse-wearing tycoon Michael Flatley's vanity project, Blackbird. Oh, I knew this was bad. I'd read reviews of people whose opinions that I actually respect, and they were like, it's not a film. But it was written, directed, catered, choreographed, special effects by Mr. Flatley.
Boats built by...
Oh, tiny glasses provided by Flatley's
mum. You didn't do the
mum.
poster for it. I'll get to that in a bit.
Fucking hell.
Oh, excellent.
But first, obviously, based on just the title alone, Blackbird, let's see what the machine has brought up.
Wow, and behold, it is the automated future machine of the king.
Ooh la la.
Yeah, I punched in the wrong thing for this. I'm massively disappointed, not because I've watched the film, I am, but because I thought for a full 7 minutes into the film that it was called Blackbeard, and I was like,
I think it was going to be...
We expected Peter Ustinov to turn up.
Flatley doing some swashbuckling while I'm dancing a merry jig.
Now that would have been so much more in his wheelhouse, wouldn't it?
Oh.
But yeah, no, Blackbird 2018. It was released 2022, but there we go. Marilyn Black is a rural kindergarten teacher who finds herself having to rescue her cat and being carried away by seagulls, or else the developers will triumph. Along the way, Marilyn meets Angus Beard, an officer and a gentleman who integrity. Things get going when they have to fend off advances from both Tony Robinson and Tony Robbins' son, and the pair have to set aside their differences. Will they rescue all the children? Outlook good.
There's a lot there. So the developers are using seagulls to steal cats.
While Tony Robinson is a cat owner.
Usually I can see what has inspired that, and I can't in this case.
Tony Robinson and Tony Robinson are both amorously running around as well.
I mean, you didn't hear it from me.
Sounds like an infinitely better film than what we got, which is... Troubled secret agent Blackbird abruptly retires from service and opens a luxurious nightclub in the Caribbean to escape the dark shadows of his past. An old flame arrives and reignites love in his life, but she brings danger with her. Is that what happened?
She brings danger and Julia Roberts' brother with her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Eric, anything for half a fucking kebab Roberts.
More on him later.
Ja. I mean, yeah, this I'm gonna say is I think the worst. I say it a lot, but I think this is genuinely the worst film we've ever done, purely because nothing happens all the way through it. There are no stakes. I still don't understand what was happening, to be honest.
There were no steaks in that fucking restaurant, were there? No one was served anything.
Oh no!
Tiny
someone
glasses!
got a big salad.
Did they?
There was a big
A
salad.
big salad, yeah. Eric
Well, I'm
Roberts got a
glad
big
it was
salad.
that.
But for the first 30 minutes, it's just Flatley walking about holding tiny cups and tiny glasses of booze. That's
You never know. He might be a big man.
he's
He
not.
just- he's a big man, but he's out of shape. To him, it's a full-time job.
So yeah, let's crack on with this absolute bag of wank. It
Did
is
anyone
a
get the? Did anyone get the production companies at the start?
Dance Lord Productions, wasn't
Dance,
it?
started out strong. Dance Lord Pictures presents Five Night Films. Presents Parachute Film Studios.
Oh,
Presents, and this
jeez.
is the best one, and I can't believe neither of you saw this. Egg Studios.
Oh,
eggs like a bird's
like
egg.
a bird's egg. Yeah. I did spot Dance Lord Studios. I thought, what the fuck has Chris Pratt in Guardians of the Galaxy got to do with this?
It would have been slightly better. Yeah, because he funded it as well. It's like purely a Flatley vanity project.
Now,
and
I would have said with what money, but I'm sure James will tell us about that later on.
We'll get to
Oh,
that.
Riverdance, he made billions off that, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it was everywhere, wasn't it? Riverdance.
You couldn't move for it wherever you went.
It
Just
wasn't
people
out on the
digging.
streets, but yeah.
Oh, street Riverdance.
Street.
Oh, it's rough, street Riverdance, I tell you.
It's like Car Park Countdown.
Yeah. All doing it on, like break dancers would bring bits of cardboard. They're all bringing out like lino to dance on or whatever. And we're introduced to this massive country house.
The parochial house in Craggy Island.
It's fucking huge. And I'm going, I bet you that's actually his house, isn't it?
And you guess what? It is.
Yeah.
It's his house, Castle Hyde in County Cork.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's not hidden it very well.
Nope.
It didn't look like much of a castle.
Yeah, it's more of a shattox. Yeah.
It was. It was indeed.
Yeah. Go on.
Well, he's just like, so he keeps having visions of a woman screaming and him in his dad's jeans and black pleather jacket rolling around the floor for some reason.
Yeah.
And
And there was a thrush in a cage, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
They
I don't know what
touched
the
hands
cage
on the
does.
cage, and I was like, oh, okay. So that's
Symbolism.
That's what they're calling it these days. Meanwhile, November Rain is being shot outside in the mansion grounds.
And he hasn't got his coat on, and he's pissing it down. He's holding it in his arms. Why haven't you got your coat on? Yeah,
But we get the first of many hats
two. Absolutely.
Yes, a classically rakish angle.
of
For
a
a
fedora.
funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we also see that the rain is just on them. It's like a Charlie Brown
Yeah.
cartoon.
When he walks away later, and it's like, it's not even wet over there.
I think in any other better film, it would probably be an allegory for how they're all feeling.
Oh, but yeah,
I'd say it's that then, shall we?
yeah, sure.
they're
Sure.
putting a shiny black, very light coffin in the ground.
Yeah.
And all these other people are there. So we're introduced to Nick.
Are we though? Like I wasn't
No.
introduced at all.
I've had to write their names down because I couldn't remember them. There's Nick, who is your man from Game of Thrones. He's
the pedo. Yeah.
But I've just called him non-union. The Hobbits is Andy
Oh, right.
Serkis.
Yeah.
There's someone else who's like the barman who's also on the team.
Yeah. So later on,
Yeah.
I'd written, I think it might be Flatley's nephew Sean, because he's in loads of scenes,
Right.
and he never says anything until the one scene at the bar, and then he's got like one line.
He's dead, Jim. Yeah. So then there's Matiti,
Yeah.
who
Is he there?
Yeah,
In the
he's
future,
always
the funeral?
there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's,
even
though-
that's his job to be always
I didn't
there.
realise that because
Even
it's
though
all
they're
it's just a massive.
They're a
people.
super team of whatever.
The-
He's like
the
the admin
chieftains,
guy.
apparently.
Yeah, chieftains. Fucking hell. Yeah, Matiti, who is non-union Patterson Joseph. I've got. And then the woman one.
Yeah, who's in it, like bookends it, doesn't he?
Because I don't think
Changes
she was
at the
given a
beginning.
name. Possibly. We'll call her Susan.
Oh, the blonde lady.
No, not the blonde lady. The blonde lady.
The dark-haired one that's not the
She's-
Irish one that sings
So-
Mack the Knife 20 times.
They all
There's
go.
Kaz.
Oh, fuck. Is it Kaz? Right.
Kaz, yeah.
Because they all like Flatley refuses to go in. He wants to watch this grave fill up with water. That's what he's
Can
always.
we just point out at this point that he's not Flatley? He's completely reinvented himself as Victor Blackley. So
He was up all night on that one, weren't he? It was,
yeah,
Lord of the Dance and then Blackley. That's my
They say
career
it's a vanity
trajectory.
project, but he changed it enough, right?
Everyone else has gone inside. Even the priest, who was the funeral all in
It was
Gaelic
either in Gaelic or I had a
Yeah.
stroke during
or
that.
Elvish? Yeah, that's what
They've all gone in for a bit of lamba spread.
yeah, because then everyone goes in and he's helping themselves to the bar, especially that priest. Like he's leathered in a chair, isn't he? But Flatley's just stood outside in the rain, underneath the sprinkler.
Somebody says no one can do what he does, and I was like, "What about your man and the kid from Cyprus, Stavros Greenfinch or whatever they're called?"
It's a bad sign that when people are talking him up that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got a limp as well in this part, which vanishes 10 years later.
Yeah,
He's
well, it's the hot
limping
weather
around.
of the Caribbean.
Yeah, he's limping around, and he's limps on and off like a fucking river dancer's leg.
Changes legs very much of which limp he has. Yeah, but that's a choice he made. That's a character choice.
Of course.
And then it goes to title Blackbird, and I go, "Oh Christ, it's not Blackbeard."
7 minutes before we get the credits. Blackley. What I'm going to refer to him as Flatley all the way through this because that's what he is.
Yeah. Of course.
He walks off up the river on his own, and they all go, "We'll have to keep an eye on him." Chieftains,
Yeah.
and like even the barman. So like the barman must be in on it, but we don't know what the chieftains are. I thought they were an American football team, but it's clearly not. And then we get Blackbird, a Stephen Flatley production.
And it cuts to London 10 years later.
Oh, geez.
There's two people with an accent I can't quite pronounce, which I just think is the accent of the other. Just generic Middle Eastern. I think they're supposed to be Libyan, it says later, but yeah.
Murray, it's the Libyans!
And they wanted to get in contact with a very sweaty, not like a detective, but he's somebody who's working through a lot of box files in an office.
But
He was shredding a lot of paperwork.
he was shredding 3 bits of paper because he's bought like a household shredder and not an industrial one. Like one at a time. He's good. He's also dressed like the fucking Maltese Falcon. Like why no one's working out of a detective agency? Like the dames came in and I knew it was going to be trouble. Like he's got braces on for Christ's sakes.
I did think he was a member of some sort of American bank. He was
The
shredding the
bottom drawer
Bernie
of-
files.
The bottom drawer of that desk, there's like a bottle of whiskey and 2 glasses. You know there is. And
Yeah.
he's shredding this stuff and he gets a phone call saying, your contact will be at St. James's Church?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
He picks up it's like one of those old phones. What do you
Hello?
call them?
Yeah. It'd have been better if it was one of those old stick and like you have to jangle the receiver. Hello,
Yeah,
operator.
Or
give me
one of
number
one of those old horns that Fred Flintstone used to use.
Yeah.
It's a
full of that.
living.
Operator, give
Oh,
me
the
number
bankers on
7.
the other end.
Yeah, he knows someone's coming for him, hence the shredding of 3 documents.
Yep.
And then, like, this guy, he says, like, don't, the 2 foreign men, he's like, we have to get the hollow coin?
Yeah.
I missed all this. If I'd not finished watching this about
The
5 minutes
sound
before we
was
came on, I
awful.
would have watched the first 10 minutes again because I had to watch it. I had to put the Bluetooth speaker on as loud as it would go. And we have a very good Bluetooth speaker for me to get any of what went on after the first 20 minutes.
The sound was shy.
Mixed, recorded by Flatley. Years of banging his feet on the floor of merry hell with his eardrums. And so, like, they said that, like, the foreign guy goes, make sure you get the thing. Don't fail me. He goes up there, like, he knocks on the door. The guy hides, and he goes, well, I did everything I could. Posts a note through saying, like, give us. We don't know what the note says, but I'm assuming, hi, we tried to call to collect the coin today, but you
Sorry, you
weren't
were
in."
out.
If you'd like to leave it in a safe area, we can rearrange collection. He leaves and makes his way towards his church while Funboy 3 chase him down the street. Yeah, just three, like, I think these are supposed to be like Serbian or Russian people.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it
heard Libyan
doesn't-
later on, but it
It
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
matter because they're just generic bad foreigners. Like,
Yeah.
he's being followed, and like they could have just kicked fuck out of him at any point because they weren't trying to hide that they were following him. They were like jazz dancing behind him. He goes into this church, he snogs a nun and runs off.
Yeah, because they're full of that, aren't they? I mean, the only church that appears in this are Catholic churches. Other churches are available, people.
Well, I meant to ask this. This is our church is open 24 hours a day. Can you just go into a church whenever? Because the ones near me aren't, because people kept nicking stuff.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, you can, but they're not always manned by a priest.
Manned.
Or a sexy nun. Yeah.
Yeah, none in this case.
None of that. Yeah.
Oh, she got nunned, all right.
She did. It was very gratuitous. It made all the other nuns go.
It did. Yeah.
And then she crossed herself and walked away. Did he? I'm assuming at this point he had to kiss her to slip the disc into her mouth.
Oh, right. That's what he was doing, was it?
That's the only thing I can think of. That's
She
why
also
he
like
kissed her.
sucked it in, like a CD-ROM drive. No, he didn't need to do it. He could have just bumped in and handed
He could have
it
just
over. It's
handed it her,
much
yeah,
more
'cause
of a
they
sexy
weren't-
flair to.
But he runs out the back of the church. She goes off. It turns out she is one of these people. Is she
I
Kaz?
think she might be Kaz. Yeah, it's not
Right.
clear because she's walking away. She sheds a nun's gear. She's got a best Rosa Diaz outfit on.
Yeah,
underneath.
street jacket. Yeah.
But you don't properly see her face.
But
And she hands the hollow coin to somebody waiting in a car.
Yeah, and then that's that. He gets chased by these lads. They go, give us the thing. And he goes, I haven't got it. I'm not going to tell you where it is. You'd have to kill me. And so off screen, they shoot him. And I'm like, great. The one redeeming thing about this, I thought, was going to get some gratuitous violence.
And we get none. We get like two bits of anything happening.
We get a fight scene we don't even see.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean that weird boat?
He just comes out covered in
violence.
ketchup.
Yeah, we get a bit of boat violence.
The weird boat violence
yeah.
is good.
Boat
anyway.
violence, I forgot.
Yeah, there's a little bit of
can't throw people in the
unnecessary
water.
boat violence. Well, apparently you can do worse than that, son.
Unless things happen at sea.
So
Anyway.
yeah, and that's like this opening bit. And I can see like he's trying to make like a sexy spy thriller, but without any talent or know-how or
sexiness
acting.
or thrilling.
He kissed
bits.
a nun. That's kind of sexy, I guess.
Now, the thing about this is that the outcome of this is that the hollow coin is still in MI5's grasp. So why does it then go missing later on?
Is the hollow coin the same thing that Julia Roberts' brother has?
Yes.
Yeah.
So why has he got it?
Oh,
Never
fuck
explained.
knows then. No.
He's bought it off somebody, I assume.
Dumb.
He won it on eBay.
One
Evil
hollow
eBay.
coin, one previous owner, the dark web. And then we cut to fucking. I'm assuming he owns this place as well.
The
Then.
Smooth Jazz Restaurant.
A blue moon. The blue moon.
The first time tonight you will hear Mack the Knife.
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
to use it a lot of times because it cost half of what the film did.
Sung by some annoying jazz band. A woman stood up playing drums. I hate that.
Not
Yeah.
is she Shovel or whatever it's called from M People?
I wouldn't
Fucking
have
hell.
minded. She wasn't even drumming in time to it. So.
No.
And the singer is non-union Michelle from Derry Girls. I've got.
Yeah,
That's fair, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got the same
I believe,
accent as well.
I believe Grace is her name.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
we will
God.
see her busters later.
Is that,
Yeah.
For
is that
no
out of it?
reason.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure on who Grace is.
Don't worry
There's
about
also
it.
a
we're not.
Madeline, and there's also
Oh.
a Vivian.
It's just a series of dark-haired women.
Yeah.
I think Vivian's the blonde lass.
Mm.
Right. So fuck knows. It doesn't matter. They're interchangeable. And it's all the gangs there. The barman is working in the Caribbean now. Nick's there. Matiti's there.
Yeah.
And
The old
fucking
gang.
Victor
Blackbird.
Blakely, Blackbird. I think he just likes wearing like dinner jackets.
I think he does. I think he
Yes.
must have a selection of dinner jackets in his wardrobe.
Because he every scene he's got like a cummerbund on. He's got a championship cummerbund.
I think this is a tax write-off.
Mm.
I think this is some way for him to not have to pay tax on his properties.
Because he used it as a filming location.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me either.
Crafty Irishman.
There's this section. Look how itchy. He's Irish. There's a section here where they go, we'll put them in the Infinity Suite. And I was like, is that out of a Marvel film?
You don't want to go. How'd you get out of the Infinity Suite? You can never leave.
I thought it had to have
there.
like an infinity pool or something. It doesn't.
No, it's just you open the door and it's just the hotel room again and again and again. And but like Victor Blackbird is just like, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing, everyone? Nick, I don't know what Nick's job is. I think just being sweaty.
And the whole a fuck ton of Cuba Libres.
Yeah, but only in little. Everyone's got tiny glasses. Everyone's drinking shots. No one's got long drinks in the Caribbean.
Slow him down, won't it?
Matiti's running the whole thing. Right, the whole operation is him.
He's like, oh, well, I've booked this person into the Infinity Suite. We need to run a check on that name. And I didn't know he was part of the chieftains from before. So I was like, why is that your job?
He's very stringent.
The other, his kind of second in command is this girl, and she's like, I'll have to call London. So she needs permission because international calls aren't even on their call plan. I mean, it's crazy.
Fucking police. Anyway, Blackley's chatting to his mate Nick about how powerful he is and how there's so many powerful people there. And I thought, fuck you. He's
a player. Hey, you can't get food, but you can get leathered because there's no scran. Like.
Eating's cheating. They have some sort of pact that they've worked together, and they cheers to the end. And I've written for Bala money, Blackley. No James for me.
To the regiment. I wish I was there. But again, I don't care, and I'm like, I honestly forgot that there was a 10-year jump. I genuinely didn't know there was a 10-year jump. And I was like, why has he got a house?
Nobody's aged.
No one's aged. No. Yeah. Well, maybe Flatley has, and then they de-aged him, and then they re-aged him, like we think.
Yeah. Is Powell also reckons that this guy, Blake Molyneux, is involved in arms dealing, and he's connected to the Libyan hit in London.
Because he opened
absolutely nothing.
Flatley opens the paper, and the headline is "Man shot outside church." Great, no, that's good. Yeah, just random bloke. And so they do all this.
He's not bothered.
It's on the sauce, isn't it? Well, he's heartbroken because 10 years ago something happened that involved him rolling around a forest floor that was
to us all
with a face like he's trying to pass a trombone out of his anus. That bit where it's the full flashback and it's his big acting moment, will haunt me till the day I die. Next day, or whenever, Blake Molyneux and his fiancée Vivian show up. Eric Roberts.
It had to be him, though, didn't it? Really? Who else can you afford?
I think he owes him a favour. He's like, I'll do a private river dance for you. If you and to be fair, like Eric Roberts is a good cartoon villain.
He does the best with the dialogue he's given, doesn't he? Bless him.
Yeah. He always looks to be having a good time, though, doesn't he? I'll give him that.
Yeah, he does that.
He's on a Caribbean island with a load of fit women. Like, I mean, he literally says at one point, I don't think that was in the script. Whether on that boat, I reckon that was just like caught off camera.
Could well be, yeah. He turns up with this young blonde wife, Vivian.
Fiance, they're not married. Fiance.
Oh, right, yeah. And that's very important. And Nick
Nick immediately goes, "You're right, Vivian." And she goes,
I've got non-union Jolie Richardson.
Yeah,
this woman. Yeah,
she looked very familiar, and I can't think of anything that she's been in that I would recognise. But he gives her eyes. Oh, also 2 giant lads have shown up, Kwan and I want to say like Ahmed or something. Yeah.
Oh no, the Ahmed gets mentioned, but is he not the bad guy?
He's not
the true Baden. Yeah. You know he's a true Baden because not only is he foreign, but he's drinking room temperature rosé at one point. You know he's rough.
Oh, that's dangerous. Yeah, and they're like his bodyguards, like enforcer guys. But yeah, Nick says, "Oh no, you've just got one of those faces," which is what you want to hear about your fiance, isn't it? Yeah, you're kind of generic.
Blackley, meanwhile, has gone off to the island's Catholic church, which is inexplicably staffed by a Yorkshire priest called Byrne.
I've written, Ebayek, I'm a Yorkshire priest in some retop Caribbean islands. But his name's Father Martin Byrne. So they must have run out of Northern Irish actors, so they did.
I don't even know why this is in Barbados. Why is he there?
I believe it will have a Christian Catholic contingency on the island still. will, because of what
Oh,
we
yeah,
did to what we did to
undoubtedly,
them. But
yeah,
the
but-
fact that he's so inexplicably crikey when he goes,
There
Have
are
you-
no
as they come to confess the
native
sins?
actors there. There's no Barbados. Barbados? Barbadons?
Barbadonians.
You see, the moral high ground we had
Bar
just
baby
moments ago.
bells.
Oh, this film broke my brain, mate. So for some reason he goes in to
Very
have a bit of a
hands-on,
pray.
that priest, though, isn't he? He like sits down on the pew with him. He's like running his hands all over his face.
Also,
and stuff.
this church open all day as well, never
Yeah.
shuts. As they come to confess sins, Blackbird. No, Father, I've not. All right, well, maybe one day. Bye.
Father,
I'll
there's
say-
trouble at mill.
Catherine Cookson comes in with a clogged song.
I've had to live in a cave for 5 years. There's a line which we've missed, I think. He says, somebody says, there's always a bigger fish. And I was like, fuck off, Qui-Gon Jinn.
No, that's... Well, then we cut to the guy who put the note through the door is in an abandoned...
Leisure Centre again, I think.
And he's the guy drinking the room temperature rosé.
But,
yeah.
the thing is, because I was watching this on 1.2 speed, as I do, it sounded like he was having fun. Like when it showed the slow pan and he was like, ooh! And I was like, what's going on in here? So we're... it's the bad guy who didn't get the hollow coin. And I want to say he's called Farouk,
Yes.
the bad guy. And
From
then also
WWE,
Dave,
yeah.
and then also Dave the Hammer Hammers was there as well.
And this particular set features like one of the very last scenes of the film as well. And I think they literally just had this set for maybe like 30 minutes. They said, quick, get this one, get it twice, and then get the next one, get it twice. Break open a breakaway table, and then we're done. And that's it. Quick, move on. Quick, the fuzz are coming.
We've not got a license for any of this. He says, this is where he gets the thing. He says, you can't do this to me. I'm an ambassador or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get this thing of you've always wanted to be more
that's the
powerful
ambassador.
and stuff.
Yeah, diplomatic immunity, etc., etc.
Right, okay. I missed all of that.
And he goes, but there's always someone bigger than you. There's always a bigger fish.
Yeah.
And then he like machetes him in the back. But again, we don't see it.
Yeah.
Which is, it's a film of 2,000 different halves. Because it jumps about. So he goes back and he.
So
I think Nick says to him,
swans in, and Nick's like, "I need to tell you something very important." And Blackley correctly sizes up that he's already on the keg, despite it being about 10 o'clock in the morning.
It's 11 o'clock in the morning, Nick. Come on, we talked about this. At least wait till the sun's past the yard arm.
Yeah. There's a bit where he goes,
here anyway.
but Jesus, he's a big unit. How big's that fella?
Do you like dags? And he's like Blackbird though. He's like he doesn't want to hear it. He's like, I'm trying to give you some information here that might be important. And eventually he's like, right, what is it then? You rum-soaked idiot. And he's like, oh, Valerie's here.
Vivian,
sorry. Vivian, Valerie. It's all fucking interchangeable.
Yeah.
I'm sure they call her Valerie at some
It's
point.
the thing that it's very low stakes because meanwhile, she accepts a big, thick wad of cash from Blake, who's like pissing around with his laptop, his weird sort of satellite phone style
Big
laptop.
giant laptop. Yeah, you can kill a pony with that.
She goes shopping because women, and eventually just shares a glance with Blackley, so he's aware anyway.
Yeah.
So it matters very little that they missed that.
No, but I think it's supposed to show like their friendship wearing thin. I don't know because at one point, like Blackbird goes off drunk on a beach, and then Nick falls into some nets, and like that's I don't know. Like it's the weirdest fucking thing. So yeah, this is thing, and then but she's also like because she goes for a swim, and we in a very sexy swimming costume.
Dries her hair and it's already dry.
Swimming costume, Jesus. And Quan is watching her with a big old stalk on off that balcony, isn't he? Like, but there's an unnecessarily long shot of her ass as well, which I thought was unnecessary. And then she goes back, speaks to Blake, says, "Can you tell Quan to stop following me about so much, please? Because like it's weird." And he goes, "All right, yeah, whatever. I don't care. I've got
this other backlight phone that I found. It's weird. It's weird how there's like little details in this. It's just from another time.
Well, Right, there's a bit where he's talking to someone on the phone, and then is it
Ahmed again? Yeah.
Is it Ahmed? Because then there's like crossed wires or something on the because he keeps going, "Shut up," and I'm going, What's happening?"
Yeah.
But then for some reason, to defeat the crossed wires, Eric Roberts just holds the phone upside down to his head. I'm like, is that an old?
Seen those phones in so long?
Is that an old sailor's trick? Like, oh Jesus. What else happens?
They go for dinner. There's this bit where they go for dinner, and
One
you know
of
he's a
many
bad
dinners on this day
because he shouts at his fiancée over a big salad.
Oh no, that's well later. She goes for lunch first, and then meets Blackley, and then everyone feared that Blackley was dead, despite living a very public life at the Blue Moon, surrounded by billionaires. And then she complains about Quan. He wants them to move on, but isn't going to do anything.
Oh well,
about
this is
it.
the thing, yeah. Because Blackbird has a stomp off, doesn't he? Because Nick's like, you need to pay attention to what's going on,
yeah.
and he just goes, "Look, I'm going to put my straw fedora hat on, get into my classic E-Type Jaguar, and drive away." Yeah. And then Vivian gets in with a headscarf and glasses on, so you can't tell who it is. Yeah. And then they go and have an adventure together.
Well, that's not for ages yet. That comes up. That's.
Oh yeah, because they have a.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
There's at least like 3 dinners before then.
Yeah, Eric Roberts isn't even in his trousers that are too big for him yet. Big parachute pants.
Kaz rings a London phone box, and there's the handler back in London who's in the phone box. Just happens to be there. Mm-hmm. It's like churches.
Danger Mouse lives. Yeah.
And he says, "So who is it then?" And she says, "It's Blake Molyneux." And he goes, Blake Molyneux. Yes, I remember him. He's extremely dangerous, and Victor needs to be involved. You know, that man that's not been on the books for about 10 years, and everyone thought he was dead. He needs to be involved,
and he literally looks like a side of ham. Like,
has he still got that limp? No, he's actually fixed it. Champion.
The hot weather, it's the salty water and the raw amount of rum he's drinking.
And then he fucks off out of the phone box and just leaves it unstationed. So you call in London, you call in MI6 or 5 or whatever.
That's budget cuts, isn't it?
It's because it blew up with Dame Judi Dench in it, didn't it? In that other one, that other Bond film. That this is obviously meant to be after. Please.
This is non-canonical Bond.
Non-Bondonical.
And then we get to Jazz Evening. Jazz evening. It's that song you hate. They're doing that.
Yeah, it's back.
It's the Cantina music, isn't it? All over again.
Why the same song?
Jizz, it's called, yes.
Blackley being a dick, slow dances with Vivian, and I thought actually, you know, that's quite a tame dance move for somebody who's famous for dancing. But there we go.
It's not the dance of life, though, is it? The river dance. Like, it's very hard to do river dance erotically. Because if you take your top off, things are just going to be flapping everywhere.
It's 40s, 2 people at a ballroom doing a very tame dance, is what it is.
Yeah, it's a slow shuffle.
But she says, aren't you going to say something? And he said, I just did. Through the power of dance. He doesn't say that bit, but he should have done.
And can you not feel it dug into your hip, love?
Kaz, meanwhile, has made a whole document out of a 2-second conversation with the London phone box. And she declares to him that he belongs to a secret society of war criminals called the Crusading Revolution.
Oh, yeah. Because they've all got cool
AI
rings on.
Yeah. Cabal name, if ever I heard one.
Because if you're in a secret society, the best thing to do is have something that's very, very obvious that you're in a secret society, like a ring with a big sigil on it or something.
What is it that they've now apparently got?
The code to making somebody eternal, or the code to making someone whatever the opposite of being eternal is.
Dead.
Yeah, very quickly.
There's not a code for that. It's just called
and
the hammer's hammer.
All you need to do is change one letter or something.
Yeah,
I thought
it was some sort of elixir. Yeah.
Yeah.
For a super soldier or some bollocks. Because he's ripped off everything else here, and like, why not do some Winter Soldier nonsense?
It's the kind of thing like up the stakes, so you know Blackley won't get involved. But what if it's got the power to cure everyone of everything ever? It boosts the immune system, they say, therefore eliminating disease. Yeah. It's the best possible outcome.
It's
or
such a strange
you can poison
thing.
a well with it.
And why not just have like weapon cache codes or something that isn't so metaphysical?
And then why do you feel the need to add into it? And he's selling it to Africa. I mean, what? The
can't have them living forever. Yeah, all of them. They've all banded together. They're on a whip round. except Uganda. They wanted no part of it.
The Central African Republic put double in.
Yes. I didn't think it was. I thought it was
such
a
a subtle
virus.
difference. You're right. That's why it's important to always read the little paper booklet that comes with the sachets in case you get the wrong one. It's the nighttime one. Shit.
I can't drive.
Yeah. And then Blake and Vivian then fall out about how much time he's spending with her.
Yeah.
And he says it's a work thing, so be a grateful fiance and eat your dinner.
He
and
bangs the
storms off.
table,
He
and she
acts
looks
like
like he's just pulled a fucking knife on her.
Yeah.
Then all he's done is bang the table a little bit, not even loud enough for anyone to hear.
Nobody else says anything, do they? No, rich people, won't stand up. She gets up, stomps off, he goes, come back and eat your big salad. And she's like, fuck you.
And he's like,
Yeah,
well,
I tried
guess
to
I'll
work
drink,
out the
wine
fuck were they eating?
It was like
Big
a
salad.
Caesar salad.
It
Like
wasn't
Caesar
big salad. It was like lumps. It was like ravioli or something. It was weird. Like rich
Ah,
people
no.
ravioli.
A famous Caribbean food, ravioli.
Out of a tin.
Out of a tin, yeah.
Probably was.
With some grated cheese on top.
It was always dear, wasn't it? Ravioli in a tin. We
So
were never
she's-
allowed. It was too dear.
Gives
She
me
storms off. She storms off at the same point that Blackley is storming off because he doesn't want any part in bringing down this
Well,
really
I think-
evil man.
Hasn't sexy jazz singer said to him, like, you need to stop thinking about your dead wife and have a go on these?
Yeah,
And
she
he's
comes
like,
to his
"She's
room
dead."
all nudie. And yeah, he's like, take your negligee and get out of here.
He goes to his room for have a dump or whatever. I don't know.
I don't know either.
No, he just for reasons. And she knocks on the door and comes in, takes the top off. Well, takes like a house coat, not a house coat.
It's very much like a house coat.
It's a sexy house coat, though, isn't it? And she's got pants on, but no bra. And you see a boob. And she sort of goes, ooh, and wiggles her ass at him. And he just goes over and puts, like, the cagoule back on her. And, like, pushes her out the door. And she goes, like, why? And he just goes, and then she headbutts it.
But
She just,
I
like,
think the thing
she
you're
just-
missing is that she's got a very strong Northern Irish accent
Oh,
as well, which I didn't expect coming from
No,
that.
neither
See,
did
'cause
I.
I
Smooth
think
jazz segue.
I think at the
Back
first
it all
time
anyway.
the first time she speaks, she's trying to do like a I am a foreign lady sort of voice, and then she just forgets,
Somebody whispers, "You can't do that anymore."
and she's just like, you want to go on these? Yeah, it's just,
Someone's like, Derry Girls has gone down an absolute fucking storm, pet. Why don't you just do that?
in the 5 years this took to film.
Sure enough.
Yeah, so she storms off and she's like, right, okay then. I'm going to go back to singing Mack the Knife if that's okay, boss. And he's like, you knows it. The #1 Mack the Knife tribute act in all of the Caribbean. And we've got him.
You can't do any of those other Bobby Darin numbers, no matter what.
And then, is this...
This is his dream, which I thought I'd missed. I thought I'd had a stroke here because I was like, "What is going on in the dark with this lassie being tortured?" And then you see him, and his head's at an angle, and he opens his eyes. I was like, "What's going on?" Oh, it's a dream. Oh,
It's a
that's
dream.
meant to
It's his-
symbolise him waking up, but he can't even do that because his face is so full of Botox.
It's de-aged digitally. It's a load of hook.
This
It's a load of
tax
hooky,
dodge.
a load of hooky Botox, isn't it? A lot of mushroom soup pushed into his face.
He then goes to have an argument with Nick, and he's wearing a flat cap
Yep.
now and doing
Yeah.
manual jobs to show that he's,
He
with it
does
with
all the stuff
workers.
there, apart from not, because
Yeah.
Matiti's done it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has a fight with Nick, and this is where he stomps off, gets in his car, changes his hat.
Someone has a job of just taking his hat and handing him a different hat in every scene, and I want that
That's
job.
somebody's job, yeah.
Oh, also, I meant to point out, when the lady came out of the sea in the swimming costume, there was a man there who was just raking sand. Just raking it from
I
one
used to have
side
that
to
job,
the
I'm not
other.
gonna lie.
He's the
In a
Zen
play
fella.
park, that was my job.
Yeah, but on a beach. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's not like it's going to get it back out of the water quick before it nicks it all. It's fucking weird. Yeah,
There's
so
all
then
the
they
syringes and everything that's out there on the sand. Rich people.
fucking well. There's a lot of broken glass in that sea.
Well, there is,
Well,
yeah. On the boat, your man throws a glass in the sea, and that's how you know he's a bad one.
Yeah,
That and the
Even
fact that
makes like
he's got a
sound,
South
like-
African works for him, so you also know he's a bad one.
Yeah, but yeah, this is so they go off and spend the day together. Blackbird and Vivian. She's in
She gets there
disguise.
just before Quan, so she can get away from Quan, and he's like, "Oh, I don't have my own car." And it has
For
to
some
sort of
reason,
middle around.
she's dressed like she's dressed like Selma when she marries Troy McClure, isn't she? It's the part I was born to play, baby.
So they go and spend the day together doing stuff. Is this when Blake goes to his yacht?
Yes, yeah. So he invites Quan along. He's like, "Oh, why don't you come along with us? You're his fucking boss.
Yeah,
Why are
it's
you
not,
inviting him?"
Yeah,
it's not
like,
jolly.
I've lost her. That's all right. Come along with us. We could probably do with you breaking someone's neck at some point.
Come on, we've got this yacht with booze, sexy women, and a South African man called James. Who knows
using
nothing
a
but-
laptop that's not turned on.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he's all the money is hidden in offshore accounts or something,
Yeah.
and we need to move it or something.
Swiss, Peruvian, one in the Philippines.
And he says, "You've got to do it now, in a minute, or I'll do something." And then he does it, and everyone's like, "Hey, that was good."
Whoa, you still had 21 seconds left, boy, or something.
And then
Jesus.
Quan pushes James, the South African, into the water, and the captain of the boat comes over and says, "You can't push people in the water." And Quan just breaks his fucking neck and hits him into the sea.
And James is just floating in the sea. He's like, "Ooh."
There was like a little sort of dock thing, floating dock thing that he could have swam over to, but he was just doing his job. And also, like, all them sexy ladies ain't going to be up for it now. They've just seen someone murdered.
Well,
Maybe
on a
they'll be
boat.
extra up for it, you know.
Don't know. But yeah, again, this scene did really nothing.
No.
Apart from, it established that Ahmed hasn't paid for the disc yet. That was the big
Yes,
thing.
that's the whole point.
And he's
Whatever
like, "Well,
that
you
means.
should have known." And they're like, "No, you, James,
You're my
you
accountant,
handle it."
James. James the accountant. James the South African accountant. It's a very long business card you've got, but still. Fuck knows.
Yeah, Flatley and Vivian are on an isolated beach somewhere. Look, very nice beach.
Mhm.
And then I didn't really understand much about this. She's involved with Blake Molyneux because of reasons. I mean, she's obviously
She used to work for the agency, which
Yeah.
I'm assuming is the Chieftains agency, or the Chieftains is a branch of the agency.
That or some sort of dating agency I've written.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I'm not really sure.
But she has basically done what them coppers did with all them animal rights activists and gone like deep undercover.
but she's not though, really, because she then later says that she had no idea. She was just with him because it was a soul match, the two of them.
See, from the agency. That's what it was,
could be.
I've written
birds.
here. I've written here.
Hitler.
Vivian is the blonde bird. I assume the titular Blackbird turns up later in the film, but she doesn't at any point.
No, there's
All we got
no-
is a blonde bird and a dark-haired bird. Very disappointing.
To be sure. But she's like, and he's like, "I've left that life behind now, and I just have Mack the Knife on, big salads and rum every night, every Irishman's dream."
Although I'm not actually Irish, but I'm sure we'll come to that.
Don't worry about that.
This bit they go back and he turns up with his hat all of a sudden at a jaunty angle in the next scene. What a ladies' man!
Yeah, in a soft top car with the thing down, and it's managed to stay on that whole way. Yeah,
You've seen the size of Flatley's head, mate.
Mind you,
Fucking jammed on there.
it's the amount of hats he could just replace it one every minute. I guess.
Absolutely.
Underneath that hat, a smaller hat. Hat's all the way down.
Did I miss something here? Because when they get back, Nick's there to meet him, and he's covered in sweat. Like
always
he's
covered in
just
sweat.
wet through. Like he is drenched wet through.
He
I
hasn't
thought
had
I
a
must have
drink in
missed
about
something.
30 minutes. So
It's the DTs, mate. Yeah.
No idea. But it was at this point that I noted Nick always looks like he's got a bindle and a Happy Shopper carrier bag of empty baked bean cans in the corner somewhere. He looks so trampy.
Guys,
got some- iron brew in a side pocket.
I don't know why, because apparently he was a great fighter and in the Chieftains, and he's just let it all go to thingy. Whereas Flatley has maintained his Mr. Strong from the Mr. Men style physique.
Oh. They have a falling out, and the line is I can't remember if it was Flatley that said it or if it's Nick that says it, and he says, "I said what needed to be said," without giving any hint of what's going on. There's less than 40 minutes of the film, and I still have no idea what's going on at all.
Good
And
Jim
he also says,
McDonald.
"Come on, darling."
So it is.
It's just a bit weird. Blackley gets cross, tells him to get get out.
Yeah. He says, get out. Get out of where? Are they not outside?
This is an island. Where am I supposed to go?
Get out of your head near the docks.
Just like every night. Got it.
Yeah.
Back in his hotel room, I spotted that Molyneux's there, and he's got a dressing gown in that climate. Like, he's wearing a dressing gown. It must be red hot.
He's cold-hearted, though, isn't he?
Oh, I guess so, yeah.
Is this when she goes through the...
She changes into a dress and notices that there's a silver case on the bed and it's slightly open.
Yeah.
So she roots through it. And I'd be shit as a spy. So I would have gotten long bored by the time she finds the hollow coin, because there's like statements from like N Power at the top and all sorts. So, like,
she opens them and looks at them and like, it could be anything. Yeah, there's like a small like cigarette case or something that has this thing in it. She takes it. She doesn't close the lid fully, which again, terrible spying.
Yeah.
Put it back as you found it.
So help me.
He's like, I'm going to go and get some water. And he's like, okay.
And she runs straight to Blackley. And I watched this bit 6 times. I've rewound this bit 6 times because he just goes, "Hey, Viv, how are you? You okay?" And it's like 20 different accents for 5 words. And she's like, "No, I'm not okay." He's like, "Are you right? What? Like, he just, "Hey, Viv, how are you? You're okay?" What? It's just letters.
It's just noise. We're just innocent men.
She says, "I can't believe I was going to marry a man with a formula for murdering nations or something."
Or whatever the formula is, we don't know.
Yeah.
But it's on this disc and you need to do something about it because I can't. Because you're the Blackbird and I'm only a woman. And he goes,
why does everyone want him to be involved anyway?
Go and give it to me. If he went and gave it to
police.
Matiti, right? Matiti would have sorted all this out and it would have been done.
Yeah.
But no, they've got to get Fathead Flatley involved. And he takes it and he's like, "Oh, I want no part of this, but I'll do it, I guess, because otherwise there's no plot to this fucking film."
Madeline at this point, so the jazz singer, she creeps up to listen in. And Vivian at that point says, "Oh, how she always loved him," and they share a kiss, and Madeline's devastated, even though this man is well over 60.
And also, she went in yesterday and did her best to seduce him by just getting the pants off. And he was like, "Nah, love, like, it's not going to happen, is it? Like, just walk away. Have sex with the trumpet player."
So she goes, he's good at fingering. So
he only knows one song.
She then goes away to tell Molyneux, she's like, "I'm a massive fucking grass."
First opportunity to be a grass, she goes. Yeah, because Molyneux's at the bar as well now because he was going to bed, but now he's having a drink because fuck knows. Quan has seen... Blackbird gives the disc, which doesn't look like it. It looks like, you know, when you get an SD card and it's in a little plastic wallet. It looks like that, and I'm fairly sure that's what it is, with like a penny in it.
It looks like a washer. Yeah, it looks like a washer in a plastic thing. I originally thought it was one of those blackcurrant fruit polos.
Oh, yeah.
Those are tasty.
Yeah. He gives it to Matiti and says, "Make a copy of this." And he goes, "Okay,
I'll guard it with my life," he says.
Yeah. And then
that's foreshadowing.
And then they like, "Oh, do you remember the old days when it was good," or something? And then he's like, "Yeah, I do this now, don't we?" Or something. Anyway, I'm going to go and copy that washer. Just go down Halford's. But Quan has seen this, and he like Blake goes back to the room. Vivian comes back, and he's like, "Where's my washer in the plastic thing, mate?"
Yeah, he says, "Do you think I'm a bad man? And do you think I'm just?" And she goes, "What? Just what, a bell end?" And he's like, "No, do you think I'm just?"
No, she goes, "I don't understand. It doesn't make sense." And I'm like, "She's right. It doesn't make sense."
Do you think I'm just here for the payday?
You can't ask questions like that. Do you think I'm good, or do you think I'm a ham sandwich? They're not the opposite, are they?
He goes down to talk to Ahmed, who's come about a coin, and does a lot of show me more respect and thumping on the table because he doesn't now have this hollowed out coin.
No, but he has
SD card retrieval thing.
He has to pretend that he does.
So he's
otherwise,
like, Ahmed, you go away and get Farouk and Bradshaw. Was he the other one?
That was the APA. Yeah. Wrestling, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
it's an odd thing that James remembers the Acolyte Protection Agency,
90s,
but here we are.
90s WWE. So Farouk is now on his way, and he says, "Let's create some horror stories of our own now." And looking at Blackley, shit's going to go down. It's the last half hour. Let's go.
Yeah, all the action's happening now, lads.
All the things at once. So they like for some reason Matiti goes to like the infinity room. Fucking hell, there's a sentence. And
It's
like
just got a painting on the wall. That's all it's got. It's got like a standard hotel bed.
It has, it looked like a double at best.
It's got one of those like standalone kettles with a little, UHT milks on it. It's got all of that.
It would be about 67 quid on 4 in a bed. Yeah.
One cup tea bags. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Not enough coat Angus per person. 6 per person is supposed to have.
Sachets of Kenko in those little tubes you never see anywhere else.
Delicious homemade shortbread that's got pubes and shit in it. Yeah. Anyway, so he goes in there and she sat there crying. The other guy is like guarding her, and then is it Kwan? Like just points a gun at the back of his head. And then it cuts away because obviously we don't see anything.
Yeah, because you can't.
No, special effects for that. We have got some dog food later on. But yeah, is this now when like stuff happens?
Yeah, there's that. It's the poker scene now. So Blake and Blackley meet for the first time, so they say. You have something of mine, perhaps, but was it yours to begin with? A good question. The question of life. What? What does any of that mean?
This poker scene, when he was writing this, Flatley, he was like, this is fucking Oscar worthy.
He was thinking, I'm going to look like I'm going to look like Sean Connery playing Baccarat. Didn't he? And it's absolutely not. There's this bit before it starts. He says, care for a game? Flatley spins around like Marty McFly when he gets called chicken. And he is like, no. Okay.
He goes, no. He goes, oh, come on, we have things to discuss. A gentleman's game. I was like, what's that?
A gentleman's game. And then she's like, that's blackjack.
So no,
I think we have more in common than you're aware of.
They're playing five card Texas Hold'em, aces are high, minimum bets, all this stuff, and I'm like, ain't nobody on this. When was it a casino?
Exactly. They've just got like a little case of poker chips and some cards, and that's it.
Oh no, because they've all got like 10,000 written on them. Like he's had these. He's nicked them from somewhere probably. And so they start playing this thing, and he's like, I can tell a lot about you by the way you hold your cards, and I'm like, fuck off. This is absolute garbage.
Yeah, but at least they're trying at that bit, and then it's only moments after that Flatley calls him a narcissist, and then he calls him a washed-up, failed secret agent, used to be the leader of a traditional Irish folk band formed in Dublin, the Chieftains.
Upstairs at the Dublin Castle, €4 on the door.
It really rapidly descends into just name calling.
It does. I said, when he was writing it, he was like, the game of life. Yeah, that's a good line. And then he's like, and your mum.
Yeah.
But yeah, they play this thing, and like Molyneux wins like 2 hands, which is like the hands they get are improbable to say the least. Anyway, because he's like, 4 aces, and he's like 10 aces. It's absolute shit. Anyway, and he's like, oh well, at least your dead wife. At least I've got a wife, and yours is dead. It was I won the mums, wasn't it?
And then I thought, if he knows all about Blackley being a former secret agent, why did he select this place for an illegal arms deal? It's a massive risk.
Rub it in his face. His stupid ham face. Potato face. At this point...
a good insult.
You big potato-headed gonk. At this point, someone goes, oh no, the only person who's actually good at their job in this film has died. They go and see, and Matiti's lay on the floor. They've spilt some ragu next to his head.
So it's that tin of ravioli again.
Yeah.
We've got 1 tin from the prop department. But he's still got the secret disc in his pocket. So like, they shot him, but they didn't think to check, even though they know that he works. Anyway, and he's like the intelligence guy of them, possibly.
Not that intelligent, he's dead.
Well, so just Flatley goes to the bar.
Oh, he's at the bar and he's having shots, isn't he? He's obviously trying to get over the fact that the one guy that's actually decent in this film is dead. And then Balrog turns up from Street Fighter 2, doesn't he? With like his shredded vest.
Oh, it's fucking funny. Yeah, dun, 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 dun. And he's like, And so, like, he goes to punch him. I can't remember why they have a fight. Does he just go like, "Let's have a fight"? And they go,
Yeah, he
"Okay."
does.
Pretty much.
And Flatley straight up murders him.
Oh,
Like-
right. So he swings for him. Flatley definitely dodges out of the way, gives him a 1-2. The guy goes down, and then he just kicks fuck out of him.
And then the barman comes over and feels his
Stop it,
pulse.
he's
and goes,
already dead.
He's
He got
fucking
one.
dead, Uncle Flatley.
Yeah, he's got mad medical skills to check the pulse, doesn't he?
He could have been the team medic. We don't know. No one else is ever given roles. Flatley is the Blackbird, and everyone else is just there.
But you
I
know,
don't know
he's,
why
you
he
know he's a
hired all
bad
these
one.
people that he used to work with to be on this island. Like, they're always going to remind him of his workplace, who don't
His
know
dead
that
wife. Well, it's Nick's
Yeah.
fault that his wife's dead because he was rolling around on the floor as well. He got bopped on the noggin or something, didn't he? Because I
That's what
think
we're about to learn the full story of this.
Because
Yes.
right, so yeah, then Flatley's like, fuck it, Balrog's dead. I'm gonna snatch this bottle of rum and I'm gonna wander around the island drinking it like Father
That's what
Jack.
I'd do.
But I think at this point Nick's pissed as well because he
Yeah.
falls into some fishing nets, looks up at the sky and goes,
Oh yeah.
"I tried" or something.
I missed this bit completely.
It's
It-
very, very dark.
It's,
I don't mean
filmed at night.
atmospherically. I mean, it's just you can't tell what's going
Yeah,
on.
and it's literally 20 seconds. But I was just
Right.
like, "Why is he asleep in some nets? What is happening?"
Again, we've all been there.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But Flatley he's drinking and drinking, and he wakes up on this beach. But so I think what happened was that for some reason, Blackbird's wife was on this mission as well.
Yeah, I
No,
got
so,
something
go
completely
on.
different to this. I've got
Yeah.
these religious gentlemen in their camouflage and ski masks were burning a witch, and for some reason he was against their religious crusade and straight up murdered them all. But I don't know.
It's possible that was.
They knew that he was trying to keep the fact that he had a fiance a secret, but it was exposed somehow, and they kidnapped his wife to get at him
Right.
Blackbird.
Okay.
and then set her
Then-
on fire.
But why was Nick? Because Nick got there before him.
And you see, now I thought that was going to be the big reveal that he betrayed him, but none of that happens there. You know,
I know I'm
Nick's
being
just-
they're
obtuse,
brothers in arms by the end
like,
of it. It's,
about the whole thing, right? But I swear to you, I got none of this from the film. And it wasn't like I was just Googling shit. It wasn't like I was just looking up the 103 films that Julia Roberts' brother is going to be in the next 5 years on IMDb. I wasn't doing that at this point. I did that after I'd watched the film. I got none of this. I was giving this film my
Again,
full attention.
I
Yeah.
think. Well, what actually
deserve.
happens is a woman is tied to it. These are the known facts, and we've put our own spins on it.
Right, okay.
A woman is tied to a pole and doused in petrol.
Yeah.
She goes, "Ah!" Nick is on the floor. Blackbird hears her going, "Ah!" He picks up Nick's gun, falls over a bit because he's like, it's dark, and he's in his best new look leather jacket. Don't want to get dirty.
He's one of the persuaders.
As he gets closer to this thing, they had to throw a match at her or
Yeah.
something, and she catches fire,
Yeah.
which causes Blackbird to fall over and do the. I didn't get a cut of this because it's. But he literally goes, "Ah!"
Yeah.
in the most like half-assed, like my fiance's on fire. Oh, well, that's going to put the rent up.
And then he shoots them all, which is pretty good
And
going.
then he
that's
just
the
goes
big reveal now.
fucking
So-
ham.
So back in the present, he's woken up on a beach, hungover, goes
throws
immediately
that-
to church to confess his sins. Finally,
Just throws
to the
that glass
Yorkshireman.
bottle on the beach, leaves it. Someone else's
Oh, yeah.
fucking problem, isn't it?
Well,
Flatley?
to be fair to him, there's still a bit in that, so leave it for the next person there. Probably Nick.
It
You know
was
what he's
te-
like.
I think it was teachers. It looked like it was in a
Leave,
triangle.
leave it out for Nick. It did look like teachers actually. It
Nick's
was that
got a
sort of
little
triangle
stash
bottle,
all
wasn't
around
it?
the island.
Little
I was
scavenger
thinking-
hunt for Nick.
It's a little bit like Father Christmas, isn't it? You leave something out for him. But yeah, he says
Nick's woke up in his net, like, "Oh, it's happened again. I've been captured by
I can
Neptune."
birds. And then he says,
No,
confess me, Father,
he
for
goes
I've
back
sinned.
to he goes back to see Father Yorkshire. I've come to
Best
confess
line in
my,
the film.
come to confess my sins.
Confess me, Father, for I have sinned, and I will sin
I
again.
will
And I'm-
sin again.
And I'm gonna
Now,
do
I'm
it again.
astounded that wasn't the tagline because it was
know,
probably
yeah.
the best line, as you say.
But he still makes him get in the little confessional booth, doesn't he? He's still
Yeah.
like,
Even though there's nobody else in the church, and even though he knows exactly who he is and what he looks like.
I
Yeah.
bet Father
That's a good point.
Yorkshire was part of the chieftains as well.
He's
I
like,
bet.
Ibaya, because it's been 10 years already.
He was the cleric. Yeah. Uh,
The Padre.
yeah.
Just clerical duties in the back.
And then he goes, stumbles out of the thingy, and he's like, okay, I guess you're going doing this now because we've only got like 8 minutes of this film left.
But watch that, Senna.
Mind how you go. So he goes down to like the fucking docks or something.
Yeah, there's a line from Vivian. Is it here or is it just before this? She turns round to Molyneux and she goes, "He's the Blackbird, you fool!"
Yeah.
This is this bit. So he goes down. It's not.
I thought it was Blackbeard.
If then just a galley came in and opened the broadside of cannon fire on them, that would have been infinitely better than this fucking ending.
She is not telling him anything he doesn't know. He
It's
knows
not
who
a
he
name that
is.
instills fear in people. Is it Blackbird? If it had been like Marvin Eaglecock, that would have been. Blackbird, it's a tiny bird that sings. It's not even like a hawk or a,
They're not known for dancing, are they?
They're not known for
No.
whatever this end bit of this film is. So they go down where the shipping containers are, down the docks. There's all these other bad men there now as well. Farouk and Ahmed are there, and Blake
some goons.
and Kwan, because I think Balrog got killed, didn't he?
Yeah, one of
have
these
got-
goons,
I've got
hired
Vivian.
goons,
Hired goons.
looks like Scatman Crothers
He does.
with an Uzi.
You know that he was just someone off the island who went, come on, be in this film. Come on.
Yeah. He's like, not between 4 and 6. That's Scatman Crothers this time.
I've got to open the Scat Shack where we serve scampi every day. And
and shit.
shit. Right, and then this is the worst dialogue thing. He appears, Blackbird appears in a white fucking like dinner jacket because even though he's been asleep on the beach, he's not got, and he's leathered. He's not got a fucking skid mark at the back of him.
Not a touch of sand on him.
A touch of diarrhea from just
To
drinking
be
whiskey.
fair
all
to
night.
him, he's not put on a hat, so you know that the gloves are off.
Well, he comes out
As
and
is the hat.
he goes and he's like, right, release Vivian and I'll give you what you want. And this is where she says, you fool, he's the Blackbird. And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. They send like 2 guys to beat him up. They go round the back of a skip. There's some cartoon fighting noise.
And they all give like they've definitely done him in now.
And it fades to black before we can see anything happening. Like, it just fades to black. Even in the final action scene, there is no action. I mean, I know we paid nothing for this. Sorry, Flatley.
And
but
that was
you're
too
getting
much.
Not a penny out of us. But I still expected to get value for money out of
I
it.
want reimbursing for my time, Flatley, you menace.
Yeah, Nick shows up as well, and he's like,
Oh, yeah, he's like,
fucking do it.
about it?
Flatley has duffed up these 2 lads. Comes out. He's got some. He's just had a jam donut before he come out because. And he's like, aha. He gives the disc to Farouk, and Farouk says, if this isn't what I want, I'll be hunting blackbirds all winter. I thought, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's not great. It's not great, but it's better
fine,
than.
yeah.
And he's like, stop being a prick or something. He like gives him he just gives him mouth. It's not even clever response. It's just mouth.
He literally just goes, just fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even. But then they drive off to leave Blake with them. Nick shows up. You don't think I was going to let you have all the fun.
There you go.
Right? And they're all stood, I'm going to say, 15 foot away from each other.
Yeah.
The last line of the film, I believe.
Go on.
Or the last line we see Flatley in. So we dancing then. And they pull out guns from their waistbands and at a distance of 15 foot, do a fucking police, fucking police squad firing around the bins and missing everyone.
It was like the bit out of space where they're shooting pretend guns.
But it cuts to an aerial shot and like someone falls over a bit and then that's it. Like
that's
you don't
all you see. You see nothing
anything.
else. And you're like, oh my God. And then you see Nick with his arm in a sling and you think, oh my God, the Blackbird has had its wings clipped. Oh no.
Oh, that would have been a brilliant line if only they'd have thought to put that.
I know, yeah.
If only they'd have cared.
Yeah, it's jazz night again. You know what
Oh,
that
the
means?
shark has. Oh, fuck off.
Nick's there with his arm in a sling. Meanwhile, it cuts to Farouk's goons. They're upset by the formula. It turns out that Blackbird has
breakaway
had
table to kick over.
Mafisi make a copy of it. So that's another thing that he's done to save your ass.
Farouk does laugh, though, again. He thinks it's hilarious. And obviously that opens up for a
Blackbird
potential sequel.
Blackbird 2.
The Blackbirdening.
Blackbird harder.
Blackbird singing in the dead
Blackbirds
of
have
night.
eyes.
Blackbird dancing in the dead of night. There you go. I'll do. You can have that one, Flatley, you prick.
When he gets another hefty tax bill, I'm sure another film will come along.
And then there's Kaz handing over the hollow coin to the agent handler back in London.
Who I'd forgotten about, and I was like, who's
Yeah,
he?
me too. Yeah, so did I.
Blackbird, you little beauty, is what he says.
Oh, you beady-eyed prick.
But he says, like, one of the team was killed, and he goes, they get less every year. So that doesn't help. Man's been killed.
Just like recruit. Like, go on a recruitment drive. The MI6 do it all the fucking time.
They
Why
do,
aren't you doing it?
And then like
Flatley goes back to the grave of his dead fiance, doesn't he? That's the last bit.
Well, but he's dressed like George Galloway at this grave. He'll be the cat.
Would you like me to be the cat? And then it ends. Like,
Vivian turns up. Taxi just drops her off.
Dressed like an Eskimo. She's like fucking Nanook of the North. Which I don't know that's a
thinking,
reference for at this age.
Just drop me off right in the middle of the thing here where there's this...
With all my luggage. Yeah, he'll help.
Yeah.
He's got a limp, but he'll help. Like, he hasn't got a houseboy anymore because he got shot in the head due to his ignorance. And then it ends.
Big off smile. End.
Yeah. Hated it. Absolute waste of him.
Yes.
I thought even like the fighting might be funny. But the one fight sequence where he two shots him and then just beats him to death, and then the fighting behind the bins, it
lacks so much. Like, if it wants to be Bond, and it quite blatantly wants to be Bond, it needs lavish locations, which it didn't have. Like, it didn't have it. We didn't see enough of it. But we didn't see enough of it, and it needed maybe more attractive women. I know that sounds awful and a bit mannish, but it needed more to happen with those attractive women. It needed quips, it needed lines, it needed twists and turns. It needed a villain that you thought was actually a villain, not just some bloke that's in two scenes.
I know what you mean. I think what they've done there is that he's made a film with his mates, and then he's realised that his wife is going to be there at the film. Oh, actually, cut all of that out.
All the
scene in the sauna, definitely cut that bit out.
Oh, can you imagine? Oh, but like when people boil ham in cola. Oh.
If he's got a string vest on, it looks like when you haven't taken it out the slipper.
James, your score.
I'm going to give it 2 bronze superfluous hats, please.
Different hats or
the same hat at the same angle? Yeah.
Mark,
I'm giving it 2 silver bigger fish.
Oh,
I had a good time. Honestly, I had such a good time because it was so fucking
kind of bored though.
Yeah, no, it dragged for me.
I'm giving it 1 bronze Yorkshire priest.
I just feel like some credit should be given for somebody trying something, and I know nothing came of it, but I'd love to think that out there's, I don't know, some bloke famous for writing the theme tune to Tetris is going to go out and make a 20-part TV series about, I don't know, shark fishing or something. Do you know what I mean? That's what this is to me.
It might encourage someone.
The thing for me is that it had no charm. Like, if you think of Aftermath as our gold standard, or Fatal Deviation, the better Irish film of the two, I would say.
Yeah,
it has all of that charm, whereas this had a lot of money and flashness.
And disappointingly, no scree. Whereas
also, like, on the poster, right, it's got a what?
I don't know. There's a few film posters.
Oh no! Well, on the poster I've got here, it's Flatley in his dinner jacket, woman with a big hat on, Eric Roberts going shh in a cheeky wink like that,
like Dr. Evil,
and then it's Nick and Flatley again firing guns.
Yeah,
I don't remember that scene happening.
No, because it fades out before you get to see that bit. You see.
Oh, okay. But also, he's holding them guns like a man who's never held a gun in his life. He's like a tiny T-Rex boy.
So that was Blackbird 2018/2022. It was only really released in 2022, so we'll go with that. I haven't got a budget for this because that seems to be a very closely guarded secret. But
Ask the inland revenue.
his house in Castlehyde is worth 20 million euros. So that's enough to get you 2 papal tiaras, the world's newest, most expensive hat. It's not the Chapeau d'Amour that we've had recently. That is worth $2.7 million. The Pope's tiara, which he seems to have quite a lot of. It's not clear how many there are, but there is perhaps as many as 22 tiaras in existence. They all look like a kind of sacred beehive, and they're fabulous.
Oh, okay.
You could get 2 of them, so yeah. He's made a lot of money. I'll give him that. So this was filmed at that residence, a bit in London, the Bahamas. The bit that was filmed in London, I think they stayed at like the Savoy or something like that. And a lot of people have closed ranks behind Flatley, and I think it's because they want to be in another Flatley film. He's chucked money at this left, right, and
Mr.
centre.
Flatley's day out.
Yeah. He also has the freedom of the city of Cork from 2007 onwards. And what he's done there, he's taken the liberty of that freedom.
Question, what does that actually mean?
It means
have
you can
the
ride a pig through the town bridge and stuff.
It means you get a key, but it's not made of chocolate. It's not chocolate
So it doesn't actually mean anything. It's like an archaic thing.
Well, that's what it means over here. What it means in Ireland, I've got no idea.
It means you can just do whatever you want, Flatley.
Yeah, that's probably it. You don't have to have any kind of license to film in the centre or anything. It was filmed in 2018, and it was apparently shown at several film festivals, according to Wikipedia, but that's not wholly true. Brian Lloyd from the Irish website entertainment.ie has discovered that instead of it being shown at Raindance, as claimed, it was actually shown non-competitively at Raindance, so it wasn't put up for any awards. And then he subsequently found out that not even that was true. It wasn't at Raindance at all. It was shown in a hotel near Raindance.
And then it turns out that wasn't true. It was on someone's mobile phone on a bus near the hotel at Raindance.
He tried to contact anyone that had seen it, but there were no journalists or critics or even members of the public that went to that screening. So it was a private screening that happened to be near Raindance, and it's all for that tagline of, oh, it was at Raindance.
Wow.
So in 2018, people learned of it, wanted to see it. It's been put off for this long just because, presumably, that went down like a lead balloon, even surrounded by his face. He tried to attract Chinese investment to get it released, I think. This is where the funding of it feels very, very murky. I don't know who's paid for this at all. Eventually, he did manage to get it released in 2022, and there's a quote from Wikipedia, theatrical release through an independent label, Wildcard Distribution. I don't know where it was screened. There's something in the Irish Times about it being a premiere for it. Don't know that it had a very wide release.
Was it funded by the Shah of Iran or something?
It feels like there's some dirty money switched hands here, doesn't there?
I think the Shah of Iran is very dead, but or he was after watching this. They're probably all wondering where their money's going. I think, though, that the implication from all of that is that they wanted to release it well after the negative press in 2018 had subsided, because they're very determined to get the money out of it for just being a Blackley thing.
I don't think anyone was ever going to forget.
Yeah,
as soon as I found out about it, I was like, I have to see this.
Yeah.
It's got hand, as you can probably well imagine.
Oh, yeah.
It gained controversy anyway for the poster alone, which, as you said, it features Flatley, Eric Roberts, and Vivian, who's Nicole Evans is the actress, but it doesn't name her at the top. It just has like the 3 lads at the top. So he's there, he's given this interview about, well, I had to direct it, produce it, write the theme tune, sing the theme tune, because, it just... It's cheaper than actually going out and getting people to do that if I do that myself. And then he's like, so what about the poster then? Oh, no, I didn't do the poster. No, that was something else.
The poster here, some things are still worth dying for, is the catch line on it. Yeah. That's fine. But then there's a very small quote from the Independent IE that says, Michael Flatley, as you've never seen him before.
Mm.
I mean, a glowing review.
Yeah. It won an award in 2021 for Best Actor for Michael Flatley at the Monaco
Get
Streaming
out!
Film Festival. It tells
the
you the
Michael
caliber of
Flatley
that
Award.
film.
Film Festival.
It wasn't in Monaco at all. It was next door to Monaco, but yeah.
It was in a Texaco.
It was the Peter Hook Band Monaco Awards.
So there's no point beating around the bush about this. I'll do Blake first. Eric Roberts, star of so many films, including The Dark Knight. He's good friends with Stone Cold Steve Austin, apparently. Don't know why.
I want to see him on the Snake Ranch or whatever it is, that show where they just get nutters to being on gladiators.
Yeah, Skull Crushing Ranch.
That's it.
It's fucking stupid, that program.
Farouk,
in this concrete trench full of water. No, Stone Cold, I won't. Oh, go on.
Farouk was played by Javid Khan. He was Severe Dad in We Are Lady Parts. He's had little bits ever since. So,
I like that. That was good. Yeah.
He felt very underused in this film. I thought he was genuinely a bit sinister, but he didn't have many lines. But he might be in the sequel, so you never know. I think the thing that has got the most attention is Kaz was played by Lara Lemon, and she was in, as the press picked up on, Angry Nazi Zombies 3, I think it was, which has been subsequently retitled Battlefield Death Tales.
If I haven't seen the first two Angry Nazi Zombies, will I understand the plot, though?
It's interlocking stories from the dark days of World War II, a soldier on a suicide mission, or a troubled family with a monster in their bomb shelter. Or a supernatural investigator.
We've all been there.
On that subject, I only really got one film coming up that Eric Roberts is going to be in, but it is related to what you talked about.
Go on.
Zombies on a Plane 2.
Fucking hell.
Or Mayday Z. Mayday Z. Possibly.
Either option is terrible.
No. Yeah, Zombies on a Plane.
I've just seen there is a secondary poster where it's a full Flatley, and then inside him is the lady in the bikini. Eric Roberts doing his saucy finger again. The priest is massive on this. And then your man with the gun, and then just some sexy ladies. Why is the priest in it twice?
The priest, I looked him up and he was in something he's been in student film style things. There's one that's like the York Witch Coven or something like that. And I was like, oh, all right then. But yeah.
I see that. Jesus. Yeah. And Flatley's got some blood down his face.
And he's wearing a black shirt, which he doesn't wear in the film.
Yeah. What is even going on there?
Anyway, he's described it, Michael Flatley, Lord of the Dance himself, as a passion project and a tribute to the golden age of cinema. In response
1983,
because everyone's got a hat on.
In response to the very direct question that it's purely a vanity project, he said, my motivation is, I was going to do an Irish accent then, and I backed out.
Well, he hasn't bothered, so why should you?
He said, my motivation is all the young people, especially in Ireland, and my message to them is that if they have a dream to do something special in life, to be somebody, you can't listen to the naysayers. Just get up and take your best shot and get on with it. He's also working on another film.
Yes, boy.
Get it.
Dream Dance, set in Hollywood at the start of World War II. You know, that thing that wasn't featured in World War II. It wasn't a battle line in World War II. His other interests...
Angry dancing Nazi zombies.
Yes, please. Flatley has used his choreographer dance moves to create artwork with his feet by dancing upon paint-splattered canvas. A series of paintings he created in the mid-2010s was based upon the Irish famine.
Is it like Maud Lebowski, out of The Big Lebowski? She's flying over the painting thing, doing the... Jesus, that sounds awful.
To be fair, they're not terrible. I don't know much about art, but they look...
Do you know much about the Irish famine? Does it resemble them in any way?
It doesn't give me that, no. It looks like someone's put a load of paint down and he's just slapped his feet through it like that. That's what it looks like. But there is a picture of him doing... Wow, he knocked these out, didn't he? Oh, that's a good look, Flatley. He's wearing denim cut-offs, a black wife beater, white socks and black shoes. It's a powerful image.
It's the Hardy Boys, I believe. No. Stop.
Just looking up the guy that plays Father Byrne, I see he's in that The Christmases Are Back or whatever it was with Liz Hurley and Kelsey Grammer. I think it might have been a musical. And
Jesus,
big
yeah,
bad
we did
racist John Cleese and the kid out of that Caroline Quentin's in it. I mean, come on, that's got to be.
We did it last Christmas.
Did you really? I must have missed that.
It's in that. It was one of the one-a-day ones. It is absolute dog shit.
Yeah. No John Cleese stuff ever again, please.
No. Elizabeth Hurley. What happened?
Katie Brand. Oh my God, so many nobodies in this.
Yeah, Katie Brand's career died when Amy Winehouse did, though, didn't it?
That's
really?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Oh well, at least one good thing came of it.
And there's your James Fax goes and collapses into some nets.
Looking at them papal tiaras. They're great.
They're cool, aren't they?
Yeah, you can get loads of stuff under there. You shopping?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Anyway, the reviews for this, they're all either 10 out of 10 or 1 out of 10. And the 10 out of 10s were pretty funny, so I've got some of those. Because, Jesus Christ. 10 out of 10, Blackbird Has Spoken.
Hey.
By Victor Fallon, too. See, it's all there. The nearest screening to me was over 20 miles away, but I river danced the whole way there to show support, and I don't regret a single broken bone. If I was Michael Flatley, I would just stare into a mirror all day and bestow glory unto myself. But this film is the next best thing. Lord Michael plays Victor Blackley, a sort of MI6 but Irish super spy thingy who retires for a quiet life of nightclubbing in the tropics. Unfortunately, he is pestered by beautiful women and bad men who want to hurt him because they're jealous. Imagine James Bond in Casablanca, only better. King Michael's acting puts movie stars like Daniel Craig, Tom Cruise, and Jaden Smith to shame. Nobody wears a hat quite like Flatley. The cinematography is visible, the score is full of brand new notes, and the script is bursting with the best words currently available. The costumes are beautifully ironed. I left the cinema exhilarated. The rest of the audience appeared to be unconscious, but this was likely due to the heavy amounts of swooning. And then, I'd say, 1 out of 10, Let's Dance by Run Rabbit Run. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned, and I'm about to sin again. And play Mack the Knife again. I wore my hat at a jaunty angle at my wife's funeral. She got cooked medium rare. It's time for a gentleman's game of Texas Hold'em. I can see you're a narcissist. Like you can see, I've polished my shoes. But the Blackbird is dead and unable to take on a bodyguard twice his size or women half his age. Be a kid fiancé and eat your dinner. Getting mad at people being pushed off boats is the death penalty crime. We're the Chieftains, the secret group of war criminals who call themselves the Crusading Revolution. What's your point, Nick? I don't know. Well, it's just like, that was the plot of the film in a nutshell. And then finally, 10 out of 10, Flatley, slicker than Daniel O'Donnell at a KY wrestling tournament.
Was this you?
By ricochet loads of numbers. Ask any Irish person who Michael Big Swinging Mickey Flatley is, and they will proudly tell you he is Ireland's answer to Batman. The release date of this movie is 2022, but it was produced in 2018. Why? Simply give time to plan for the logistical nightmare of the queues of frenzied fans outside Irish cinemas. Flatley turns in a performance, seconded only by Keiko in Free Willy the movie, and will no doubt will receive an Oscar or the Nobel Peace Prize. It was like,
you've all had fun out there, haven't you?
It's the only best thing you can do with this. Is make fun of it, because I mean, like, Mark said he tried, but to keep the costs down, no, you need a director and like a lighting guy, so it's not just dark and people are falling into nets. You need
somebody to write some stuff.
Yeah, get someone to punch the script up a bit, because. Yeah, it's fine.
Even if it's someone that makes one of those, I don't know, Nicolas Cage films that are made in Eastern Europe.
Yeah, at least they're better. At least they've got cinematography
and actual violence in it. Yeah,
but so that, in conclusion, that was 2022/18's Blackbird, the strangest film I've ever seen.
It was a film.
Just about.
It was clearly a thing that I watched, yes. But other than that, gentlemen, your favourite lines, and there must be many from the film.
A good question. The question of life.
Am I a good man or a just man?
He's a Blackbird, you fool!
Right, are we having a dance then?
Hey, are you okay?
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Is there a hat wrangler on the production staff?